What's going on, y'all? This Pito back with another book review. Today we doing Big Gucci. This book was dope. It was exciting. If anybody read it, let me know. We about to get right into it. Big Gucci, Pito back with another book review. Let's get it. Alright, so first off, the book started off crazy. He started off kind of the end of the book in the beginning, but it's dope. Once you read it, you'll get a better understanding of what I mean. But he was talking about how he was so high, so paranoid that he was in the studio. And when he was in the studio, he was like, only time he felt the peace of mind is when he was literally looking at his cameras, knowing that nobody wasn't actively coming up. So he got so tired of waiting that whoever he was getting into it with, that they was gonna come after him. He like, look, I'm going after them. So he got even more high, got some more lean, some more codeine and all that. Got his strap and left the crib, start walking down Moreland Ave. Like, I'm gonna go holler at whoever I'm having this issue with. And the cop pulled up one him like, Gucci, hey Gucci, you all right? And he was like, hi Gucci. Like, ain't no cop ever speak to me like that before. So it was automatically a red flag. And he said he already knew a bunch of dudes that was running around with kitted up Chargers, acting like the police, kidnapping people, putting them in the trunk. So he was like, oh, this is set up. So the cop was like, look, your people just worried about you. They want to make sure you're all right. That was another red flag to him, because he's like, ain't nobody I roll with calling the cops just to make sure I'm all right. So he's like, I don't believe who you are, nothing you are, till you call for backup. And they was like, do you got a gun on you? He's like, yeah, I'm strapped. So the lady was a real cop. She ended up calling for backup, and they all bum rushed him, locked him up, and tied him, got him in jail, whatever. And that was how he started the book off, just to let you know where he was at one point in his life, which I thought was a crazy story. All right, so like we do with all the other books, we learn how this dude got his name. So Gucci said he got his name from his dad. They used to always call his dad Gucci Man. So he was always fly into having all the Gucci stuff and fly gear and all that, getting money type dude. You know, the typical story we hear in all these books. But that's how he ended up just taking the name from his dad. Also, the 1017 was one of the addresses that his grandma had in Bessemer, Alabama, I believe. So that's the name, the origin of his name and of his label, 1017. Feel me? Oh, another thing. Also, he talked about his first time getting high. And we always talk about that whenever they hear these funny stories about guys' first time getting high. And he was saying how he always heard that the first time you smoke, you never got high. And he said he got high. And he was like, this shit's strong as fuck. As he sat there with the girl had to calm him down to let him know everything was all right. But after that, he ended up, getting cool, and he was straight after that. But I just thought it was funny because he didn't realize the stuff that he was hustling and selling was as strong as it was. So that was funny to me too. One thing I thought was hilarious, and I don't know if a lot of hustlers do this or not. I don't know if it was just him, but he was talking about how he was hustling or whatever, and he had to end up getting robbed. And the dude robbed him, whatever, took his whatever, but he had some stuff between his butt cheeks. Now, I don't know if that's normal or not, but I thought that was hilarious. Like, who the hell hiding crack in between their butt? But I guess that's another element. I'd rather you have something there than go to jail, I guess. I don't know, but I just thought that was a hilarious part of it. But he did talk about when he got robbed, it turned him into a whole nother animal. Because he felt like somebody just came out here and just took everything that he was working for. He like, that ain't happening again. So ever since he got robbed for the first time, that's when he got a strap, start shooting it off, and realized like he became way more aggressive and mean because he wasn't trying to get got no more. You know what I mean? All right, the origins of Big Gucci rapping. At first, he didn't want to rap, and you hear that a lot in these books where they be trying to be behind the scenes, especially when they're hustling. They don't want to be on the camera. So initially, he tried to sign other people to rap, but it didn't work out. So he ended up getting up with Zaytoven, and Zaytoven told him, like, look, you might as well start rapping. And he was like, all right. So that's when they started working on their craft, and he eventually got better and better. But that's really the origins of how Big Gooch started rapping. You know what I mean? Another funny story on this book, and people do know I used to do music. So a lot of times when he was trying to get verses from artists, whatever. So he ended up running to Juvenile. So Juvie was like, give me 7,500 and I'll give you a verse. He was like, bet, that ain't nothing. So he hit his partner up. His partner split it with him. So he was like, all right. So they went on the tour bus with him. And it was Young Buck, I forgot the other guy, and Gucci and Juvenile on Juvie tour bus. And Juvie was like, look, I'm going to make you a beat and I'm going to give you a hook. And Gucci was like, I don't want no beat and hook from you. I already got a beat. Like, you ain't Manny Fresh. So he said when he said that, Juvie got tight. The whole bus got quiet. It was like, well, nigga, that's what you going to get or you ain't going to get nothing. So they had a falling out about that. So Gucci got off the bus, but his homie stayed on the bus and started talking to him and working with him, trying to work it out with him. And eventually, his homie made him agree to just doing the beat and the hook. And he got the song, but that ain't what he wanted. And Young Buck was like, man, don't trip, man. That's how Juvie be sometimes, man. And he said the song with Juvie never went nowhere anyway, but he was just tight that Juvie was trying to play him with the hook and the beat instead of just giving the verse what he paid for. I mean, but it was funny though, because he was pissed. Jeezy came out a good amount in this book. He brought up Jeezy a good amount, which is kind of understandable because it's a significant part of his life and everything that happened. So he talked about Shorty Red introducing Jeezy to him initially, and Jeezy was trying to get with him because he was a fan or whatever, some of the stuff he was doing. But that was kind of like their first introduction. The first meeting they had was through Shorty Red, because, you know, that's who Jeezy was rocking with a lot, you know. So he got a extensive story about the song Black Tea and how everything played out with it. But I'm going to just focus on one part because I thought it was interesting. He said that he had a falling out with the people that was on the song with him previously. So he just was going to make a remix. And he got up with Lil Scrappy at a club. And him and Lil Scrappy was talking. And he was like, yo, get on Black Tea with me. So Scrappy like, hell yeah, let's do it. I'm with it. So Scrappy and Gucci went to Patchwork to do the remix. And when they was in there, Killer Mike and Bun B was in there. And he was like, Killer Mike said, give me 3,500, I'll hop on a remix. And Killer Mike was like, give me a stack, I'll hop on it. So he was like, hell yeah, I can't beat this deal. I get Killer Mike, Bun B, and Scrappy for 4,500. Let's get it, like I'm with it. But then later on, he got Jody Breeze on it too. I think Jeezy hopped on it too. So yeah, that was a funny story how that came about, getting everybody on that Black Tea song. I mean, by the way, I hated that beat to Black Tea. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I remember it, and to this day, I went back and listened to it as I'm going through this book, and I still hate that beat. That beat was terrible to me, but that's just my personal opinion. But the song was dope, but I hated that beat. All right, so a lot of y'all know the story behind the So Icy song, because the So Icy song was so crazy. So he talked about how Coach K helped him and Jeezy link up to do the song. And once they started doing it and started pushing and all that, because Big Meech and all them was behind the song So Icy, it took it to another level. Everybody already know, we always talked about Big Meech and how influential he was. So he started pushing the song and helping it. And like everybody was trying to sign him, even Tip was trying to sign him at the time. And everybody was just going crazy over this song So Icy. So another thing they was talking about when it came to the song So Icy, he was saying how the Jeezy thing kind of started because he was trying to get the Def Jam was trying to get, the label was trying to get the song So Icy on Jeezy album, but he was turning it down. So that was like kind of the start of a lot of this, but more stuff, but we'll get to that later. Another funny ass part of this book, he talked about meeting Cam. He went to New York trying to sign his deal, and the guy from the label was like, yo, Cameron is about to pull up. He got this blue Lambo. So Gucci was hyped, like, yo, I love Cam. So he said Gucci was hype waiting for him outside. As soon as Cam pulled up, he was like, what the hell? Cam pulled up in a Toyota Corolla. He like, yo. But the Toyota Corolla was for his, but he just bought it for his mom. He was like, oh, okay. But that was funny though, because like, he was saying Cam was real down to earth, real cool, real simple. Like, he appreciated seeing Cam in a normal element. So it was just dope on him meeting him. But that was funny as hell. He pulled up in that Corolla. So he was saying like, Def Jam was trying to buy the song for Jeezy, but he didn't want to sell the song. He wanted to keep the rights to the song. So that was like the main thing, the issue between him and Jeezy, to his understanding. So then they had a studio session where they both was there together, and I guess Jeezy went outside or something like that, and somebody tried to press him outside. So he said Jeezy came in there pissed. Like, yo, you got niggas out here trying to press me, bro? And he was like, nah, man, they ain't got nothing to do with me. So he went outside, and one of Gucci homies had said something and poured a heater out on Jeezy, and it turned into this whole thing. And he was like, yo, I ain't got nothing to do with that, bro. And that was like kind of another reason that added a fuel to the fire with the situation with him and Jeezy. So Jeezy had the city behind him. He was doing all this with Big Meech and all of them. He was the hottest thing out. So he felt like Jeezy started blackballing him because he wouldn't release the rights to the song. So he felt like that was another thing and added to the issue. So not only that, he felt like one of Gucci homies ended up dissing Jeezy. So Jeezy responded dissing Gucci. So then Gucci was like, that wasn't even me, but okay, if you want to go, let's go. So then he got mad because in the song, at the end of it, Jeezy said, that whack ass chain. And Gucci like, I'll pay $40,000 for this chain. You don't come at my chain. And then that's when he put the bounty on his head. When Jeezy said, you know, I give y'all the bread, I think it's 10 G's to go get that nigga chain, bring it back to me. And that's when like all hell started going down from there. You know what I mean? So Gucci was trying to push the diss to Jeezy and was out trying to pass it out. So he went to the strip club, tried to get with this stripper chick. And the stripper chick allegedly set him up. So this is what he said in the book. So the chick was like, yo, just come to my crib. So he went to the crib and it was like 5 dudes there that tried to get him. And, you know, out of self-defense, one of them ended up getting hit. And Gucci ended up, you know, getting booked for this process. And it was just crazy because he really was just trying to push his diss songs. But people was really trying to get at him for that chain, you know, for that bread. But you know how that go, things people do for money. So that was another crazy, unfortunate event for, you know, Gucci. So he talked about how he was at Rap City, the Basement, doing his freestyle with Big Tig on BET, and really out here, right, like finally ascending to the place that he wanted to get to. And he realized, and then they called him like, yo, you got a murder warrant out for you back in Atlanta. So he was like, damn, man. So instead of him flying back to get back there as quick as he can, he said, I drove back. He was getting high, stopping at strip clubs because he was trying to prolong going to jail. So he had a whole trip back from, he said he had so much weed, but he ended up smoking from New York to DC. He ended up smoking all of it. Had to stop and get some more. I was like, that's wild. Gucci was really stressing about going to jail. Like, as you should, though. I would, too, though. You know what I mean? Just my own personal opinion on the Gucci and Jeezy, just hearing both of their perspectives. I don't think neither one of them really fully taking accountability. Even though they squashed it, they had conversations and, you know, the versus thing happened, but just the origins of it, I don't think nobody either really took full accountability, but they both kind of give you their perspective and they both kind of give you some accountability. But they both kind of like, I don't know what started that for real, bro. And sometimes that's how it is, though. Sometimes you really just don't know why things go the way they do. You know what I mean? Another thing that he talked about, and I remember this because he ended up like some club promoter, somebody was booking shows in his name, collecting the money, but they had nothing to do with Gucci. So I know they ended up catching him and ended up beating him up real bad and like doing something to him with a pool stick. I don't know what exactly happened, but I heard he did something crazy to him. So that was also another thing that was crazy because they ended up roughing up, but he ended up getting locked up for that too. So he got locked up for the murder for the dude trying to take his chain, and he got locked up another charge for somebody for assaulting somebody that was stealing money from him, basically. So while he was booked, man, somebody came at him and tried to attack him and like stole him from the side or whatever. So Gucci ended up knocking dude out. Dude had a pipe or something. He said him and dude was fighting over the pipe. And he had one hand on the pipe, the other dude had one hand on the pipe, but Gucci kept hitting him, like pop, pop, kept hitting him. But when he was hitting him, he ended up knocking Buddy out. But when he knocked Buddy out, he was about to throw him over some stairs, and some old dude was like, nah, don't do that, bro. So they threw him in a hole. He was in a hole for like 4 weeks or something crazy like that, 2 months or something. Wow. And he ended up being in the hole next to Brian Nichols, and that's wild. Y'all know who Brian Nichols is. Like, he was in there the whole time, like, yo, I don't even deserve all this. But kind of find out, dude got injured way worse than he thought he did. So that's why they was having him in the hole so long. So he told he told the warrant, like, yo, I ain't even hurt dude all like that. And he attacked me first. So they rewinded the cameras and realized that Gucci was telling the truth. So that's how he ended up getting out the hole. Crazy story. So he said something that was kind of crazy to me. He said that while he booked in a hole, he thought about like how Jeezy was out there celebrating and all of this stuff when he the one that sent dude to him. And I thought that was crazy. Like, that's a wild perspective or something to really think about while you sitting in the cell. Like, that's wild, especially when you're supposed to be out there like doing your thing too. And then also he talked about how he ended up spending like $200,000 on legal fees at this point in his life. But I know by the end of the book, it was way more than that. But that shit's like crazy, bro. 200K? Well, damn. The lawyers, they say the lawyers only win when stuff be going down like this, bro. They the only ones that be winning. So he got tired of doing music. This is another funny story. So he ended up, because he was saying he was getting into more trouble with the music than he was when he was hustling. So he ended up getting a new deal. Long story short, part of the new deal, he get to work with Scott Storch. And I thought it was hilarious because he was like, he went to Scott Storch's house and he had like a yacht, like 30 cars, like 20 bedrooms, 17 bathrooms. He was hyped. So he went to Gucci crib. He went to Scott Storch's crib and he introduced him like, yo, this Gucci, the guy I was telling you about, you know, the one that got locked up for murder, the one everybody hate, you know what I'm talking about, the one I was telling you about. Gucci was pissed. Like, really, bro? That's how you gonna sit here and introduce me? Like, yo, I'm out, man. He was like, what's wrong? He's like, he ain't had no idea how much he just offended me and with the way he introduced me. But he like, a lot of people started introducing him like that. And it just was annoying. He said, but then later on, he realized Scott Scorch was probably high of his mind considering how much he was blowing money on drugs and shit like that. Then he talked about me and Rick Ross, and he said Rick Ross said to him when he saw him, because he always heard how smart Rick Ross was. He's like, but Rick Ross said something real stupid to him when he met him. He said, Rick Ross said, if I was you, I'd talk about that murder in every song. Like, I killed somebody in every single song. And Gucci was like, bro, I ain't on that type of time. So I thought that was funny as well. You know what I mean? So Lil Wayne inspired him to start piping up the mixtapes. Like, all right, let me start banging out all these mixtapes, because Wayne outworking everybody, and he on top of the game. So, and there's a lot of his homies was listening to Lil Wayne on his tour bus. So he was like, yo, they should be listening to me like that. So he ended up doing the Gangsta Grills. He started bumping out mixtapes like crazy. So he ended up violating his parole, had to go back to jail. But the reason why they violated him, because he got caught with a gun and some weed, like some alcohol or something, like they got a DUI or something. And they were saying like he wasn't doing all his community service. And he was like, what y'all mean? I've been going to schools. I've been doing all kinds of work for my community service. But what it was they wanted him to be out there on the side of the road picking up trash to kind of embarrass him and humble him. But he was going to schools talking to kids, and they ain't accept all that. Like, he put in like crazy hours of community service, but they ain't even accept it because he wasn't doing what they wanted him, how he wanted it to serve it. So that was kind of fucked up. He was pissed about that too. One dope story he talked about was the song Wasted. Him and Fat Boy was cooking it up. He was like, yo, what if we did a spin on the word wasted? And he was like, wasted? That's some white boy shit. He was like, yeah, man, that'd be dope. So they ended up coming up with this crazy beat, crazy song for the song Wasted. And he said he called Plies. And he was like, he said this on the Plies. Plies called him back in like 2 minutes. Like, yo, put a third verse in there. I'm about to record mine. I'm sending it right back. So Plies sent his verse right back. And he called him back again like, yo, you finished the third verse? And Gucci like, man, I ain't really worried about this song like that, because he was recording so many songs. And Plies was like, man, it's a hit, bro. Like, we need to get this out ASAP. So he did it. And of course, the song blew up. Everybody loved the song Wasted. And he was saying, but then at that point, Plies wanted to get 40 bands just to be on the song Wasted because it blew up so big. Initially, they were supposed to just do swap songs, but he was like, nah, bro, I want 40 bands because the song's too big at this point. But Gucci tried to take him off with Waka and somebody else on it, but he was like, it wasn't the same. Like, it was not the same without Plies. And he was like, he started reciting what Plies said, I don't get wasted like the white boys, but I do something like that. It was, but you know the song, I don't remember the lyrics exactly. But it ended up, being a hit, and he ended up keeping Plies on it. But I thought that was an interesting story, how he wasn't trying to keep that man on it. All right, the Jeezy thing, again, he ended up running into Jeezy at Houston's. And he was saying him and Jeezy had a one-on-one. And one thing he was saying was like, yo, you need to calm your young boys down. Like, Slick Puller and Waka kept getting into it. They kept beefing. And Jeezy was like, look, bro, you need to holler at your people, because those are the only ones that's going to get hurt. And Gucci was like, yeah, you're right. Because wasn't not going to happen to Jeezy, wasn't not going to happen to Gucci. But he said he was surprised that Jeezy even had a one-on-one conversation with him. He thought Jeezy would be scared to even talk to him like that. So that was like an interesting perspective that he had, that they had that conversation. And he thought they was going to link up and do some music. But then some bullshit happened again where they ended up falling out again. So he just kept saying how the Jeezy shit wasn't going how he wanted to go, how he thought it should go. So that was definitely another interesting part. So, I'm not telling y'all every single detail of the book, so I'm skipping through it, like, the parts that I thought was funny or interesting. But it's so much shit in this book. Y'all definitely gotta go get it. It's so interesting. It's dope. Like, I promise you, there's so much stuff in this book that you probably didn't know. So it's definitely a dope book. I want y'all to go check it out. But he talked about, like, at the height of his career, he's making like $90K a day. And he was saying, like, he bought like 2 Ferraris. One Ferrari ain't even been in the States yet. And he was just spending so much money. One time, he got on a private jet, and he go into the bathroom and smoked 2 blunts. And the pilot was pissed. Like, yo, what the fuck, man? You can't be in here smoking, bro. You can't. Like, only way you can get off this plane without paying me 10 bands, I'm calling the cops. Or you gotta pay 10 bands to clean the bathroom, get the jet clean. He was like, what? He said, man, you gotta give me 10 grand to get the jet clean for smoking a bunch in here, or I'm calling the police. So he ended up having to pay that 10 grand. And I thought that was crazy. Like 10 grand to get a jet clean? That's wild, bro. Crazy. So he talked about like his next album didn't do so good initially, so he started like getting back on the lean, started spazzing on the label owners, and started like not going to photo shoots and interviews, and really started drawing up this bad blood with everybody. And he just was like, fuck everybody, and really on this wild temper tantrum, and he just was like losing it, getting back on the lean and all that. And it was just crazy because he started burning so many bridges at the time and like really going through it, and just started spazzing everybody around him, man. So he ended up like, you know, getting booked and going to jail and like again, and he just had such a repeated history of going back and forth and back and forth. The judge and them really wasn't kept cutting him no breaks like that. So that was like wildly unfortunate. Another thing that I thought was funny, he had a photo shoot with LRG, and they had this crazy mansion. They was doing this photo shoot. So Gucci was like, yo, I'm using this house for videos that I want to do. So he ended up calling Future. Future pulled up with like 50 dudes. He ain't have no approval, none of that. He just did it anyway. Like, yo, we gonna shoot this video. So the people at the house and LRG was pissed, but he ended up getting all the footage that he needed for the video while he was still doing a photo shoot for something else, and they was tight. They was pissed about that, bro. I thought that was funny. He also talked about doing the movie Spring Breakers and how he was so high on lean that he would fall asleep in the scenes, and he'd be knocked out. He had 2 girls with him, but on the scenes, he had to wake up like every 5 minutes just to wake up to do the scenes. But I thought that was funny as well. But he was hype about doing that movie. So he talked about like the event in the beginning, how it played out at the end, and how he was facing like 30 years, and like he really thought he was gonna go away for some time. But the judges and everybody, that he ended up taking a plea deal, and how this was like the best time, because once he went to jail, he was talking about how constipated, how sick he was. He didn't know what was wrong with him, but he realized it was that codeine that he was on for so long had him so constipated. That's why his stomach was so big. So he was just going to bathroom the whole time he was there. More than he went like in his life, he thought he was sick. So then he started working out in there. That's how he got the weight off. He ended up dropping like all this crazy weight, man. That's how he came out looking good. He was saying like Keisha was, you know, standing there. Everybody know the story about Keisha standing by him. He was saying like he was waiting for her to bail him out, but they had blocked all his bonds, so he thought she was flaking on him, but really she couldn't bond him out because he had other warrants in other counties, so it was holding him in. So that was like a crazy and good experience for him, because when he came out, everybody know Gucci came out looking great and amazing, looking like a champ, you know what I mean? All right, another thing, and this kind of might wrap up of this book, but he talked about how he had like Migos. He said the first time he met the Migos, the sign, and they came up with all this fake jewelry. I thought that was hilarious, but he ended up giving them some of his jewelry, and they threw theirs in the trash. So that was hilarious. But he was saying he's dealing with Young Scooter. He tried to sign Young Dolph. He tried to sign PB the Long Way. PB the Long Way turned down the money. Like, I don't even want the bread. I just want you to sign my other young boys. And it was Young Thug and somebody else. But I thought that was dope. He tried to sign Bankroll Fresh, and he was saying like he built this studio or then the city or whatever, and how everybody being in Metro Boomin, everybody being there recording, just making hits. But when he went to jail, a lot of people tried to get up out their contracts and get away from him. But as you know, that's how it go. But this book was dope, man. This was an interesting ass book. It was from front to finish, front to back. I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I read it, man. It really was interesting. I learned a lot. That's why I got on the ATL thing representing for Big Gooch. But yeah, man, if y'all read it, leave in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about it. It's Pito with another book review. Out. What's going on here? This is Pito. If you into books, you into reading, you into learning, hearing things that you never heard, stories that you never heard, and learning to work on your mental health, to develop it, becoming a better person, a better man, a better son, a better father, follow me, subscribe. Help me get my subscribers up. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Right now I'm at like 2. But nah, in all seriousness, if you're really into the things that I'm into, follow me. I'm going to be dropping dope content all the time. It's Pito. Check me out. Follow me. Engage with me. Let me know y'all want to read some books, what y'all want to talk about. I'm here. It's Pito. Let's get it.